Hey y'all. It turns out that my booktube is probably going to be just as much about books as it is the random stuff I seem to purchase every week. Last weekend, I was in Georgia moving my daughter to college, and at the Atlanta airport, there's a Mac store. And I went in to get a refill of this eyeshadow that I've had for a long time. And you can see that it is completely empty. And the back is completely worn off. And I didn't even have this with me when I was there. So I was trying to describe it, and the woman seemed to know which color I was talking about, but who knows, you know, they're trained to agree with people, maybe. But what I walked out with, instead of that subtle, shimmery pink that I love and wear all the time, I walked out with 4 colors that I hardly ever wear. So hopefully you can see that. And that's why, dear readers, I have eyeshadow on right now in the middle of the night, because I wanted to see what damage I was doing. And you can also see that I don't actually know how to do eyebrows. So here I have some nice green eyeshadow on and regular old Kenya eyebrows, but it's gonna have to be all right. So that's something I bought. My Sips by box came in, so I'm gonna look in that and see what's in there, although I already know because I've already drank some of it. And because this is a booktube channel, I figured that I should at least talk about a couple of books. And so I picked 2 books that I read a long time ago that I really enjoyed. So I'm going to talk about tea and books. Okay, so as you all know, I am not sponsored by anybody. So Mac doesn't know I'm talking about them, and Sips by doesn't know I'm talking about them. But Sips by is a subscription box. I did an unboxing video last month for July as well. So this month, what did I get? 4 teas. It always comes with 4 teas. And if you don't know, you go into the Sips by app or onto the website and you tell them the kinds of things that you like in tea. So do you like fruit? Do you like floral? Do you like vegetables? Do you like spicy? Do you like sweet? Whatever. And then they theoretically craft your box for you. So this time I got, what is this? A spicy ginger chai. Is that true? Yep. Spicy ginger chai, and it contains caffeine, but I'm not someone who is impacted by the caffeine in tea. I really have to have more caffeine than in a chai. So I'm excited. You can't smell it either, but I can't smell it. And then I'm also excited about the cucumber apple. They're cold brews. I haven't used one yet. But you brew it in cold tea, in cold water. So maybe I will put one of those in a cup of water overnight. And then the one I have already tried is a coconut mango, and it was so delicious. And actually, when I opened it, just the smell of it, I opened it and I was like, oh. So those are the best teas, I think, whether it's a savory or a sweet tea, when you can just smell it as soon as you open it up. And then, so let me see, that the coconut mango is an oolong tea. And then I got the Tulsi breakfast tea. So it is a Tulsi breakfast tea. And so it is stress relieving and awakening, which makes me think it must be a high caffeine one. Only medium caffeine. And it's revered in India as the queen of herbs. It's a holy basil. The Tulsi is holy basil. So it supports stress, mood, the immune system, and detoxification. I can't imagine that I would have any toxicants to detoxify, but maybe. And let's see. So like I said, I'm super excited about the cucumber apple, just because I love those two flavors together. The crisp and the kind of crisp, fresh flavor of cucumber, and then the apple together. Apple's one of my very favorite things. Probably even more so now that I've discovered, now that I live in New York, because it's sort of like apple country and there's so many apple cideries and pick your own and all of that stuff. So I love apples the most. Well, maybe second to peaches. I did have a great peach while I was in Georgia. Not that you have to go all the way to Georgia, which is the infection capital of the world, to get a good peach. So that was my Sips by box. And then these two books, I pulled off my shelf because, like I said, it's a booktube, and how I don't want it to turn into a makeup and tea channel. Not that it could. Like, look at this. What do I do here? Who's got tips for me with my hooded eyes and lack of, you can probably tell that I'm not focusing on anything when I take my glasses off. Drop your tips for makeup in the comment section. All right, so The Woman Next Door, I read The Woman Next Door in 2018 because one of the challenges for the Read Harder in that year was to read a book with a woman who was over the age of 60, I think. And so the two main women in this book are actually in their 80s. So I believe it takes place in Nigeria, but I have said Nigeria incorrectly in my last 3 videos, which makes me wonder if I need a trip. Maybe I need a trip to Nigeria. I heard it's beautiful. But I think they're living in Nigeria, and one woman is black, one woman is white, and they're neighbors. Each of them are recently widowed, and both have had pretty successful lives, and they hate each other. They're on the homeowners association or like the town council or something, and the white woman really loves it. It's her passion, and the black woman basically sits on the board to antagonize the white lady. And then a tragedy strikes their area of their neighborhood, and they start spending more time together. And as you can imagine, they start to learn a little bit more about each other, and they start to not hate each other as much as they're getting to know each other's stories. So the book is told from a current perspective, what's happening now between the two women, and then we see some glimpses of each of their stories as they were growing up and how they came to be in this neighborhood. So I really enjoyed this book. The author is Yewande Omotoso, and this is what it looks like. And it's probably not a book that I would have typically picked up, but the Read Harder challenge, one of the reasons why I really like that challenge is because it really challenges me to read harder. And then the other book is Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. So I read this book, I believe, in 2017. Nina LaCour was one of the authors who came to the Rochester Teen Book Festival, and I was with her that day. So each teen book festival, each of the authors gets a group of people who are kind of showing them around for that day, making sure they get to where they're going, where lunch is, you know, all of that stuff, where their signing is going to be. So I was part of Nina's adult posse that day. And actually, Georgiana Marie was with us. So Georgiana Marie is the audiobook reader who read, I don't think she read this one, but she might have. She read Nina's other book. So they were together in a room. But anyways, so that was 2017. And one of the challenges that I do for myself every year is that for Teen Book Festival, I try and read at least one book by each of the authors who is going to be there. And so some years there are 30 authors. Next time there are only going to be 20. So that's going to be a little bit easier for me. But this was one of my few 5-star books for 2017. It is about a young adult girl who, has a hard time in love, but she is in college to be a set dresser. So she lives in Hollywood and she works on movies, and she is just really passionate about creating sets that really depict the time of the movie that she's working on, and she puts a lot of personal touches. She's really great at her job. And one day, as she's looking for props and things for a set that she's dressing, a love letter falls out of an old vinyl record album cover. And she sets off to figure out the story behind the letter. And she meets another young woman. So their story and journey together throughout the book was just great, and I loved it. I read another of Nina's books that I also really enjoyed, the one about the girl who breaks up with her girlfriend and moves to New York City, I think, for college. I liked it, but this book was just my favorite for a long time. And I might do a reread now that I think about it. Nina also runs a writing lab that I think is so cool. And I'm not a writer, but sometimes because I'm so interested in story and storytelling in general, I really like to do writing prompts and practice and think about writing from different perspectives. So I've really thought about taking her virtual course in writing. But it's a bit of a commitment of money and time. So I'm just not ready yet, but I'm thinking about doing it. The last line of the description on the back: the search leads her to uncover a decades-old secret and the potential for something truly epic. Love. Nina, if you're out there, miss you. Nina's also married to a woman out in California, I think. So it is an Own Voices book. Okay, that's a good 13 minutes of me rambling about random things. I hope you guys are doing great, and I'll see you next time.